Yo, what's up guys, welcome to a new video. My name is Wildcrow and today I'm gonna show you how I did my last song, End of Time, that sounds like this.
I just wanna feel the end of time.
I want to go directly to show you the project, but I want to tell you that you're gonna see some stems because this song was meant to be a collab that it didn't end up as a collab, so there are some stems from the original project. So well, this is the project of the song, and as you can see there are some stems. Here I have basically the chord, the stems for the break, and then some of the effects, but nothing else. I think just the kick and the snares. The rest is all mine. So well, let's go directly to the intro. This is this section here, and in the intro I don't have a lot to explain because basically it's just the kick, some percussion, some effects, and something from the break or from the drop. But well, I want to show you two things. As I said, it's basically drums, but here, as you can see, I used the pads. And I want to explain this because the pads, as you can see, here we have the chord progression, but here what he did is just keep the first chord all the time. With this automation here and this one here, basically I'm increasing a bit the volume and filtering out. And then here with this automation, what I'm doing from this point is pitching it up. So it's where I'm creating like a rising effect with this sound from the breakdown. And in my opinion, this is so cool because this way you create rising effects that is not from a sample, you know, and fits better in your song because actually are sounds from the song. And the other thing I wanted to show you is this thing here. This is a guitar they have in the break that is like this. And in the intro basically is doing an arp, and as you can see is filtering. But in the last bar of the intro, as you can see, I did a lot of things here, and let me explain them. If you go to the drums, this is the kick and this is the fill that they use in the song. And this is doing this rhythm. So basically what I wanted to do is do this rhythm with the guitar. So well, as you can see, I cut the guitar, so this way I follow the same rhythm of the drums and doing a small melody with the notes of this guitar. The first thing I did with this automation, as you can see, it says pancake, and this is basically making it go left and right, but really slightly. But the good thing comes in this part, that is first, I decided to add this filter. But then the magic comes here. With this first automation, as you can see, that goes here, this is a reverb, so I add more reverb to it. But then with this, I'm activating a distortion plugin that is making it sound so distorted. And if we play with the drums, you know, it's something that maybe not a lot of people realize, especially because in the intro and Spotify and so there's no intro and outro, but I wanted to do it. But well, the intro in general sounds like this. Then we come to the break where, in my opinion, we don't have a lot of things. The first thing we have is the guitar, you know. Here it sounds like this. And it's filtering down to end up like this. We have this piano. But you know, I like to have warm things and full sounds in the breakdown, so I decided to add some pads. For this pad we have two sounds, one that is lower and one that is brighter. So we go from this to this. But also we have this thing here that makes it sound a bit more epic and gives a bit more ambience feeling. But for me that wasn't enough. So then after 8 bars, as you can see, I decided to add more things. So first I added these strings. And this guitar that probably you have heard in a lot of songs. And everything together sounds like this. But what else do we have in this break part? Well, this. If you watched the walkthrough of my previous song Can't Shake You, that if you didn't watch I recommend you to go and check it because I have a lot of cool things in that song, I used a lot of reverb in some sounds to put them in the background. This way create a really cool ambience effect. So wow, this is the first song where I used this trick, and this were the song where I took the idea to use it in Can't Shake You. If we check these sounds without any reverb or effect, sound like this. But this is so boring, right? So let's add a lot of reverb. And as you can see in these two, I also add a lot of delay, so this way it stays more there. Also, we have this rain effect that helps to cover a bit more space, a sub bass, and also some percussions, that is the kick filtered and some shakers. And as you can see, this shaker is cutted, okay? It's from my sample pack. Could just use it like this. But I decided to just cut it the way I preferred, and in some parts are some variation like this, and also add another hi-hat in the second, so this way this shaker is gonna sound different. Because yes, it's from my sample pack, not a lot of people have it, that you should go and get it, the link is down below in the description. But even if other people wouldn't have it, maybe I use it in other songs, so this way I add a bit more variation and sounds a bit different, and also fit it better on this song actually. And also at the end I have these drums with a filter and this fill. So if we play everything together, then what do we have? Well, we have a section where it's like a bit more calm and chill, where the singer is gonna sing a good part, and then we come to the build-up to add a lot of energy. This way we create a bit of contrast and tension to the song. So well, in the pads, as you can see, what I did is take these two out and also the guitar, so this way it's a bit more calm, just the pads and the pianos doing the chords. The rain to add a bit more texture, but as you can see, I took out these effects, I also took out the drums, and well, of course, some effects like this impact, and some downlifters and crashes and so. And then, as you can see, we go to the build-up. During this breakdown, you didn't hear yet the melody. So what I decided to do is add it just on the build-up. On this build-up, I'm gonna have a plug doing the melody, but also, of course, the leads filtered. So this way we introduce the sound that is gonna be for the drop. If you talk about the pads, it's basically all the break pads without the guitar. In the drums, we have the snares that sound like this. Some shakers and rides and those things to add more rhythm. But also the kick with a filter, of course, at the end, because the kick is gonna add a lot of weight to the build-up. Then, as I said, we have the plug, a basic progressive house plug with a bit of delay, so this way in the silence of the melody we cover with that space. The leads that I'm gonna show you later that have, as you can see, this a filter, and this the endless smile to add more reverb and put them more in the background. And also a lot of effects, downlifters and uplifters to create this build-up effect. And everything together sound like this. Well, as you can see here, I have a lot of patterns, and this basically was some different ideas for this song. And I want to talk about this because in this project, it was a bit difficult to me to find a good melody, that I think in the end I have a good one. But the thing is that I had a melody that I really liked, but I wanted to try different ones, different ideas. So I want to tell you that even if you have an idea that you like, sometimes just try new melodies. Maybe you end up with a new one that is way better. So what do we have in drop? Basically some drums, kick, clap and rides. Here are some snares. And then we add some shakers and claps. Then we have the leads. the bass, the chords, and the sub bass. But then we also have these chord or pads. And of course some effects like white noise, downlifter. If we go to the leads, as you can see, this is the layer, a lot of leads, of course, like always. They sound like this. A string, as always, I like to add natural sounds. Just a super saw. Another one that is a bit drier and with a bit more attack. This one is like the previous one, you know, like a super saw, but it's like a bit more distorted and so that's another character. One more for the lows. One with good attack in the center. Another super saw. And the same super saw, but 1 octave lower. And all of them sound like this. But if you want to learn more about how to layer progressive outlets, I recommend you to go and check this video that I did some weeks ago where I show you all the process that I do, because right now if I show you here, this video would be way too long. If we go to the bass and chords, well, basically the chords sound like this. One for the highs and one more for the lows. Then if we go to the bassline or another layer, that, well, we have this sound first. Like really warm bassline. This one is a bit more present, a bit more distorted. Now we come to the highs. So this way, all them together sound like this. And then of course we need the sub bass. This is a normal sub bass. Apart from these things, we have some ear candy in this drop. Together with the downlifters, then we have here a clap, some effects, another downlifter, and things like this. But also we have here this thing that you see in reverse, this so small, that is this. Is the leads in reverse every time. So basically what I'm doing is in the parts where the melody is stopping, I'm adding this reverse sound, so this way it covers a bit more that space. So without this it sounds like this. But with this, it sounds like this. It's just something really small that covers a bit more space, so it makes it sound a bit fuller. Then in the second part of the drop, I have this arp. And also I have this hover or high string. So if we play the entire drop, sounds like this. Now, of course, we have the second breakdown where basically it's pretty similar to the first one, but I want to show you this thing here that is so cool and I think is so unique. But first, let me show you the vocals. The vocals of this song are sung by a guy called Round Robin. I have here the vocals bounced because you can see there were a lot of stems that used a lot of CPU and so in the end it was a mess on this project, so I decided to render and continue working with this. But if we go to the original files, basically we have the original vocal that is like this.
Don't try to say another word. You know I'm
really deep and emotional vocal for this song. Then we have this.
But don't call me up.
These are some harmonies.
Don't feel what you felt. But don't call me up. Oh, if you don't feel what you felt.
But well, this vocal with all the processing is here, and if you want to learn about processing, I have a full tutorial where I show you how to do the processing of the vocal. Is so in depth. I show you everything, you know, so go and check that video. But basically it sounds like this.
Don't try to say another word. You know I'm. But don't call me up. Oh, if you don't feel what you felt.
And as you can see here, I have this vintage verb extra automation, and it's because in this part I wanted to add a bit more reverb to the vocal, because it's a part where I have like the breakdown part in the break, you know? So if you play the entire song together, it sounds like this.
The days and the nights spent by your side are running on my mind. I have always you on my mind. But don't call me up, or if you don't feel what you felt.
But well, with this explained, let's go to the second breakdown. If we look at the second break, that is this part here, as you can see, basically we have a bit more drums, because this way you keep the rhythm. We keep the same ambient effects, but we add this plug that I'm gonna show you now. We have basically the same break pads, but as you can see here, we add these voices, and also apart from the effects, we add this thing here. So well, let me show you everything one by one. Let's go first with the drums. We have the kick that we had in the first break, but also we have this tambourine. And then we add these break claps and these orchestra drums. And also the shakers from the first break. I also have this rear plug, as I said. And all of this creates like a good solid base for the rest of the sounds that there's doing the chords and all these things. So I said the break pads are basically the same ones as in the first break. We have the piano, the guitar, this pad, the strings. But also before adding the guitar here, I decided to add these voices. That makes it sound so beautiful. But also, as I said, we have this thing here. And what is this? Well, it's basically me singing really weird. Without the effects, sounds like this. Well, the only effect it has is a little alter boy, but as little alter boy uses a lot of CPU and adds latency, and so I rendered again this thing with the little alter boy. But basically it was me doing like yeah, I took this idea from Jonas Aiden. Thank you, Jonas. But with all of these effects, sound like this. And if you play with the entire song, it's gonna sound like this. So basically in this new section, the only thing I decided to add is this guitar again. And the leads with a lot of filter. But also, maybe you've heard it. Then after this section we come to the second build-up. It's similar to the first one, but with a lot more tension. How to create this tension? Basically keeping the first chord all the time. As you can see, I'm keeping the first chord in everything. And also on the melody, I'm keeping also the first bar. And everything together also with the vocals is like this.
No, don't let me down again. I don't wanna be your friend, 'cause I want you till the end of time. Please don't let me down again. I don't wanna be your friend. I just want you till the end of time.
Then basically the second drop is exactly the same as the first one with a slight variation. As you can see, these two patterns don't have the same name, but both are the leads. So what's the difference? The end of it, these last two bars. This pattern has the melody you heard in the entire song, and the melody ends like this. But this one ends like this, and it has a filter, okay? This new ending of the melody is better for the end of the song. I tried the original melody, and for the end of the song it wasn't that good. It was like the melody wasn't closing. So to create this closing effect on the melody, I decided to just change it, and also it's so good because it adds a bit of variation at the end of the song. Then as you can see, also this pattern and this pattern is not the same one. This is the number 2. And basically on this one, what I did is add extra chords. So these are the chords of this song, and this new pattern has these chords. As you can see, have an extra note. So the difference is like this. And this also helps on this variation on the drop to, you know, add a bit more harmonies, make it sound a bit different, and end the melody. And last but not least, in the second drop we have also the vocals to end the drop, and also we don't keep the kick all the time, we add the drums, so it sounds like this.
Please don't let me down again. I don't wanna be your friend. I just want you till the end of time.
And everything together is like this. So well guys, this is basically how I did my new song End of Time. You can stream it everywhere, you know, on YouTube, on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, everywhere. Down below in the description you have the link so you can go and check it. And also if you want to keep learning, I recommend you to go and check this video. This is the walkthrough of my previous song Can't Shake You, where I show you also different things that I didn't use in this song that in my opinion are also so cool. So nothing else guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave down below in the comments what you think about this song and if you like this kind of walkthrough, so you want me to keep making them. And nothing else, see you in the next video.